my dear children. Hope you are safe and sound. A dream doesn't become reality through magic. It takes sweat, determination, and hard work. So you have to work hard to attain your dream. Today, we will begin our first grammar lessons, phrases, and clauses. You might have heard these two words, and I know now you're trying to remember that, isn't it? Don't worry, we will revise it together. First, let us start with phrases. What is a phrase? A phrase is a group of words with no subject and verb combination. No meaning of its own, but if used in a sentence has a complete meaning. So, a phrase is just a group of words. It will never have a subject and a verb in it. It is just a part of a sentence. But if that part of a sentence is used in a complete sentence, it will give a meaning. For example, my best friend. My best friend. They are a group of words. Do they have a subject and a verb? No, but they are a group of words. And if I use that with another group of words like John is my best friend, so it gives us a full meaning. Same way in the East, they are just group of words with no subject and a verb. But if I use this group of words along with another group of words like the sun rises in the east, it will give a complete meaning. So, what are phrases? A phrase is a group of words with no subject and a verb combination. They don't have a meaning of its own, but if they are used in a sentence, it will give us a complete meaning. So, hope you have understood. Let us see or let us study what are clauses. What is a clause? A clause is a group of words with subject-verb combination. It is a group of words with subject and a verb combination. Again, a clause is also a part of a sentence which have a subject and a verb in it. It has a complete meaning by itself. For example, John is my best friend. Here John is a subject, is verb. So, it has a subject and a verb. John is my best friend gives us a complete meaning. The sun rises in the east. The sun subject, rises verb. The sun rises in the east gives us a complete meaning. So, a clause again is a group of words or a part of sentence with subject and verb combination. Is that clear? Again, let us see what are the two types of clauses. Clauses are of two types, independent and dependent. An independent clause means it can stand by all itself. It doesn't need any help. Think of an adult. They are independent. They can stand alone. Just like that, an independent clause is that part of a sentence which has a subject and a verb and it can stand alone. It does not need another part of a sentence to complete its meaning. Same way, then what are dependent clauses? Just like that word meaning, they are dependent. They need somebody to depend on, like a baby. They depend on their parents to help them survive. They cannot stand alone. So let us take a look at the example. Independent clause is a subject-verb combination, make a sense and as a complete thought. A dependent clause again has a subject and verb, needs more information to make a sense, needs more information to make a sense or give it a complete meaning. For example, the cat is sleeping. The cat subject is verb, cat is sleeping is a complete meaningful sentence and it's a independent clause. So, but if I add when the cat is sleeping, Does it give you a complete meaning? No, right? It has a subject cat and is as a verb. It has a subject-verb combination when the cat is sleeping. But is this giving you a complete meaning? No, you expect me to tell something more. What happened when the cat was sleeping? The mice will play. When I add the mice will play, that part of a sentence, along with that, it is complete. So, the first part is a dependent clause. It depends on the next part to give a meaning. Let us take a look at another example. I was watching TV. I subject was or watching verb. Was watching verb. TV. Complete meaningful sentence. Again, it's a clause. And it is a independent clause which can stand alone. But if I add while or make the sentence like while I was watching TV, it has a subject I, was watching verb, but does that give you a complete meaning? While I was watching TV, if I tell you while I was watching TV, you will be ready to listen what happened next. What happened when I was watching TV? What occurred there? So I add another sentence. The power went off. Now it is complete. While I was watching TV, the power went off. Now it is complete. So while I was watching TV is depending on the next part, the power went off, to give it a meaning, complete meaning. Did you understand? A dependent clause is that part of a sentence which has a subject and a verb but is not complete in meaning. It needs another part of a sentence to make it complete. It has to depend on another part of a sentence to complete its meaning. On the other hand, independent clauses have a subject and a verb and it can stand alone. Hope you have understood. There are categories of clauses. We just have to study the first category, that is a noun clause. A noun clause is a dependent clause that acts as a noun. Noun clauses begins with words such as how, that, what, whatever, when, where, whether, which, whichever, who, whoever, whom, whomever and why. Don't worry, my dear children. You have just to identify a noun clause from a sentence. So how will you identify a noun clause from a sentence? Just check whether that part of a sentence have a subject, have a verb. Then whether it begins or starts with any of these words. Like how, that, what, whatever. Simple. Don't you feel like that? To identify a noun clause from a sentence, you just have to check whether that part of a sentence have a subject and a verb and whether it begins with, it starts with any of these words. Let us take a look at the example. First example, whatever you wish is my command. You subject, wish verb, but it begins with whatever. So it acts as a noun and it is a noun clause. Second example, I know where the treasure is. The treasure is the subject, is verb and it begins with where. So that part of a sentence which begins with where is a noun clause. Is that clear? So, shall we revise it once again? First, we discussed phrases and clauses. Phrases do not contain a subject and a predicate or a verb. But on the other hand, clauses contain a subject and a verb. Phrases cannot convey a complete thought. Clauses can sometimes convey a complete. Why it is sometimes? Because they are dependent and independent. Phrases cannot stand alone, but independent clauses can stand alone. Again, what are independent and dependent? Independent clause is a group of words that contains a subject and verb and expresses a complete thought. An independent clause can also consider as a sentence. What are a dependent clause? A dependent clause is a group of words that contains a subject and verb but does not express a complete thought. An independent clause can also consider as a sentence. What are a dependent clause? A dependent clause is a group of words that contains a subject and verb but does not express a complete thought. A dependent clause cannot be a sentence. Hope you have understood. Thank you.